Of course, I'm gonna. All right, everybody, welcome in. Before we get started on tonight's favorite Disney villain chat and Disney villains in general, I just want to address really quick. Thank you to everybody that has been very supportive to me during this time. I greatly appreciate it, and that's really all I want to say about it. I just want to say thank you to everybody who's reached out and been supportive about my mom. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Hugs to you and your family.
Thank you.
And to the pets. Hugs to the pets.
Especially Luna, who doesn't really understand what's going on. All right.
Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Malik.
Hi, Danielle. Is Ben with you tonight?
Yeah, I want Ben to type in the chat if he's with you. That was fun.
So tonight we are going to discuss our villains. And as we know, there are tons of Disney villains. So what we're going to do first is everybody's going to tell, we're going to start with Rachel, then go down to Ajanaclair, and then D&G, and then I will share. What is your favorite villain? Rachel?
My favorite villain is Maleficent. It's a toss-up between Maleficent and Hades, actually.
Okay.
But I like Maleficent.
I'm sorry, you're not allowed to have that one. No.
Excuse me?
Uh-oh, we're about to have a fight. All right. Ajanaclair?
Maleficent. As you can see.
All right. Your turn. The two of you's turn.
I have two because I can't decide, but Maleficent and Ursula.
Okay.
I was going to say Captain Hook, and probably I would say Ursula too.
Okay, and well, real quick, hi Cherie, welcome in. Mine is definitely Ursula, as I was so reminded by my cousin today. Apparently, she remembers me sitting downstairs watching the Little Mermaid TV show whenever I was at their house. So,
Yay.
Ursula has always been my favorite. All right. So, I was thinking maybe we could talk about like everybody's favorite underrated villain.
Jamie coming in with Team Ursula.
Well, this basically has almost every villain you could possibly think of on my shirt, so. But yeah, some of them are probably underrated, so.
Yeah. Hi, Jamie. Welcome in. And yes, Team Ursula.
Underrated.
I feel like the Queen of Hearts.
Are we going in any kind of order?
No.
Eric has Oogie Boogie on his and the trick-or-treaters, so.
Yay. Lock, Shock, and Barrel.
Okay, yes. Judge Doom. That's the one that a lot of people think about, Danielle. From Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
What is that from again?
Okay.
Who's that?
Solo.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, that one. Okay.
Oh. Yeah. I guess I still don't think of Who Framed Roger Rabbit as Disney. So if that
yeah, they are. They owned Touchstone before, and it was a Touchstone picture. But yeah, I know what you mean.
I always counted Ursula's sister as an underrated villain.
Morgana. I have to agree because a lot of people don't usually think about the Little Mermaid 2.
Uh-huh.
So
Morgana, she was
like
gangster. She was willing to toss a baby in the ocean.
Right?
I haven't seen it in
So
a long time.
Rachel, you said the Queen of Hearts.
Yeah, I feel like you don't see a lot of her. Like her merch, you don't see a lot of it. And I've never been to Disneyland Paris, but when Nick streamed there, I know she has her own like Alice in Wonderland's Labyrinth and stuff like that. And funny enough, actually I better not spoil the beginning of Sing 2, but it has to do with Disney.
Oh, yeah, please don't. We haven't seen it yet, so.
Okay, it has to do with Disney
Yeah.
the beginning, so I won't spoil it.
All right. I think for me, the most underrated Disney villain has to be Madame Medusa from the Rescue Rangers. Wrong show. Sorry. Rescuers Down Under.
Wait,
The Rescuers movie.
Rescuer? Yeah.
Yes.
She was good
what
too. I liked her.
She gets no love at all. Like people
Considering
are like,
I've never seen The Rescuers, I can understand. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Exactly. It's like people are like, wait, who is this?
You need to
So
watch
yeah,
it if you haven't seen it.
she kidnaps a little girl to find, what was it, a diamond or some gem,
A Devil's Eye.
and yeah, and it's like, you've got this little girl, like, how do people like not see that as a really awesome villain? She kidnapped the little girl to find a gemstone. All right, what would you guys say?
I would say Tinkerbell. I say this all the time.
Yeah, we both say that she's a villain.
Tinkerbell's a villain.
She kind of is, yeah.
She can
I
fly
can
around
definitely
here.
see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
And she was jealous of
Tinkerbell has
Wendy.
an absolute mean streak in like in the actual original Peter Pan movie. She was a little
Spitfire, let's just say.
A little tinker. A little tinker.
she was a mess.
Yeah. No, I always say she's a villain. Now, in fact, I was trying to start a campaign that saying that she was a villain, and it fell flat on its face. But
Oh my gosh, you didn't know it.
his mom is a huge Tinkerbell fan, and I'm always giving her a bad
Yeah,
time about
she
it.
is. I think Judge Frollo,
Yes.
Judge Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame was a horrible, evil person. The song that he sang was
Hellfire.
was very not Disney.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that whole movie was scary. Like that was like the
Right?
Disney version of a horror movie.
I learned
It's just-
I learned
I'd
something
say-
about Hunchback actually the other day that I didn't know.
What?
And it's that Belle makes an appearance in Hunchback of Notre Dame. It was on a Trivial Pursuit question,
I saw
and I
that.
didn't know that.
Interesting.
Where is she?
I feel like I've heard that before though.
Now, see, that's something I've never heard. Cherie completely agrees about Tinkerbell because she does try and kill Wendy.
She's a horrible little thing, little
Yep.
fairy or whatever.
Yeah. So it's like, okay. And Ben from Melic Adventures says his favorite villain is Hades. So that
Yeah,
seems to have a lot of people seem to love Hades.
He's funny. He had good one-liners.
Yes.
So fun fact, I never even considered Hades as like a favorite villain until I saw The Descendants. And now
Yes.
Hades and Maleficent are one of my are one of my couples on my Valentine's Day shelf.
Nick! Hi, Nick.
So if you notice, all of my bags are now changed to couples. So we have like Buzz and Jessi, Woody and Bo Peep. So I put Maleficent and Hades together after seeing The Descendants.
Ajanaclair,
I love it.
you might want to read what Nick said in the chat about Tink and Pixie Hollow.
Huh?
Nick said it don't come
Nick
for
said-
Tink or Pixie Hollow.
She's his jam and a baddie.
Let me turn on these comments so I can see what's going on.
Nick, you're the best. That's
Yeah.
all I'm gonna say.
Oh Lord.
Hey, I'm not coming for her. I just saying she's a baddie. She's not a good girl. She's not all pixie dust.
Exactly.
No, she is not all pixie dust
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You know,
no.
she put into work and Peter Pan dissed her for Wendy. She's a woman scorned. She's a bitter.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
Lord.
We've all been there. You put into work and then this chick comes strolling out of nowhere and here he
Right?
goes. Like, no. We got problems.
There's one that's really underrated that Derek and I both like.
From Emperor's New Groove. Is it?
Yzma.
Yeah, Yzma.
Yzma, yes.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
Yes.
I love Eartha Kitt in
She's
that role.
she's a fun villain for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Kronk was
Nick.
a villain, but not really a villain. He ended
Kronk
up being
was more of the villain's sidekick.
Yeah.
That didn't really like.
He didn't want to be bad. He was.
Yes,
He changed his tune.
yes.
Kind of dim-witted a little bit, but he's lovable.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there are any other underrated villains.
Did you see what Nick said again? About she's a woman?
Scorned, yeah.
The laughing face emojis.
Because she
Oh,
is.
you guys.
I don't know, like any other underrated villains.
I'm trying to think.
Oh, that King Candy in Wreck-It Ralph. That dude.
Yes.
I
Yes,
forgot his name. We haven't
King
seen that
Candy.
very much.
Oh my Lord.
And the mayor in I'm looking at my bags trying to think of movies. The mayor in the bunny one.
Wasn't the mayor. It was the mayor's assistant.
What's the bunny? What is
Zootopia?
Zootopia.
Zootopia. Yeah. Bellwether. Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot about
Yes,
that.
I
Tree.
did. Hold on 1 second, Jamie. I'm gonna go back up and find it. I don't know where my.
Look
She
what
always-
Cherie said in chat.
Jamie said, I always wanted to get Tinkerbell tattooed on my right foot.
Yes.
You could stomp on her.
He took her man.
I can agree with
Clayton
Sandy on that.
Tarzan. I wouldn't. Clayton was kind of not really an underrated villain. He just wasn't villainy enough for me.
Who?
Clayton from Tarzan.
Oh,
And what
I've
about
never
the
seen
villain
Tarzan.
in Pocahontas?
Governor Ratcliffe.
Yeah, I feel like he's underrated.
I just feel like he's not talked about that much. When you talk about Pocahontas, most people talk about Pocahontas and John Smith. They don't really talk about Governor Ratcliffe.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I feel like when you talk about Pocahontas, you just kind of talk about Pocahontas. Like nobody actually talks about the details of Pocahontas.
Right.
That's one of my favorite Disney movies. It's interesting though because they went through a string of movies where the villains were kind of the same. No, I don't want to say the same
Mold.
character, but if you go back to what was like Beauty and the Beast, even Ursula, who was kind of tame, but the Lion King was Scar, and then you had Ratcliffe from Pocahontas, and then there was another one, Hunchback of Notre Dame. Those characters were kind of in the same mold. But
Yeah, they were vicious.
yes,
Like Scar was like vicious.
yes.
Like, he literally tried to kill his baby nephew, and he did kill his own brother. Like he was like he just didn't care.
Scar.
I'm calling that baby Scar.
I know, this is too cute to be Scar, isn't it?
It is cute though. That is super cute. Is that wishable?
Yes. I have I don't know, 5 or 6 wishables that all have different length tags. Like they just keep getting longer each time a new set comes out. Awesome, Jamie. But yeah, it's my newest wishable is Scar.
Nice.
Yeah, I just don't have a You say murder his nephew. I see misunderstood.
Who was
Mirth's on fire
misunderstood?
tonight.
Nick, you're just
Who was misunderstood?
He didn't murder his nephew,
Scar.
but he tried to have the hyenas kill him. Yeah.
I didn't think he murdered his nephew. I said he tried. But he is not misunderstood. I understood Scar clearly. He did what he did what he had to do to get what he wanted. I understood. It wasn't right, but I understood
that's
it.
just saying cute.
Yeah, see, now this one fits Scar more.
That one is scary. I have that one, and I hate it.
Yeah. This is a live action Scar.
It's flopped.
Yes,
so
it is.
Scary.
That's the
It is like it's his face. I kind of just keep it down there.
Now I feel like if we're talking misunderstood, I feel like Maleficent is misunderstood. So
yes,
she is very and she didn't become like my favorite villain until I saw like the live action movie. So once they gave her like a real backstory, I was like, oh, she's not even a villain at all. She just pissed her off.
I was going to say,
she's just irritated. Like if you did that to me, I'd do the same thing.
Yes. Okay. I agree with Cherie. Aunt Sarah and the Siamese cats from Lady and the Tramp. You want to talk underrated? Nobody ever mentions them.
I don't think they're.
I don't feel like anybody talks about Lady and the Tramp as much anymore either. Just generally speaking,
they're just mischievous. They're not. I don't think they're villains. I think they just like to cause.
Well, I mean, they kick Lady out. They're trying to get rid of the dog, and sorry, I'm an animal person. You don't get rid of a dog just because there's a baby in the house.
Yeah, they were evil.
And I feel like no one talks about the villain from Fox and the Hound either. I don't remember his name.
I remember
the old man.
Yeah, I feel like no one ever talks about him.
And Up?
No, in what did I say? Fox and the Hound.
Oh, but he wasn't a villain though. He ended up being good.
No, the old. Yeah.
He was just trying to get the fox away from his house.
Well, he was also a hunter.
Angus.
Yes. Angus.
Thank you, Jamie.
What's the one? So I have a good trivia question. What's the one villain that you never see, but they're in the movie, but you never see them?
Huh.
Gotta think about this.
They're around, but you just never see them.
I think I need a what do you call it on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I need a lifeline.
Okay, I'll give you a hint.
I need to phone a friend.
It is a Disney classic. I'll give that hint.
So it's a true Disney classic movie.
Like it's an earlier movie.
Sandy says the hunter in Bambi.
It's the man in Bambi. Yep.
Oh.
Yay, Sandy.
Okay, go Sandy.
Yep.
Yeah, you never see man in Bambi.
You just see the crows, and then you know that that they're there.
Interesting.
Oh Lord, how did we never think of that? That's a good one. Sax, please don't claw my feet. Oh, okay.
Well, I would say. So, do you guys think Moana had a villain in it? Well, I guess it would be the
Tamatoa.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him as a villain. Like, I feel like that. Like he was supposed to be kind of the villain.
I feel like he was more of look at me, show off.
Yeah.
Like, just wanted to be
I feel like Moana didn't really have any true villain.
I don't remember.
I mean, Taka was supposed to be the villain, but then it's like, but Taka wasn't really a villain, right? Like Taka was just. And plus, like, I think all of the villainous characters were so, like, I mean, the Hunter, you never see him, but, like, the villainous characters that you did see in Moana, they were, like, their screen time was so short. It's kind of like...
Right.
I agree with that.
Thing. The Kakamora
The volcano
was short.
Oh, the Kakamora, I forgot about them. They were villains. So Moana had a bunch of villains. She just had a bunch of little tiny villains, like little random villains. Instead of like one big villain.
But that
instead of like, for instance, Nightmare Before Christmas, where it has Oogie Boogie as the villain. The main villain. Like, Moana didn't have that.
Yeah. And I feel like Taka was supposed to be the main villain because that's the evil that they set up at the beginning of the story, who she was going to conquer, to restore order back to Motunui. But I don't know, like, I feel like the villains in Moana are just, but it's a good movie.
Random.
That's when
We've only seen it one time, so we don't really remember. I don't think the mountain or whatever it's called was a villain, because it was kind of like under a curse, and then once
exactly
it became good again.
Right, like Taka was Tafiti.
Right, like exactly, like Tafiti can't be a villain. You just took her heart. So if you take a woman's heart, she's gonna turn into hot lava. That's just what happened, right?
Right.
She's just mad.
If you take a heart and you don't give it back, you get what you get.
Right?
Sheree.
Another movie that didn't really...
Sheree's emotes are the best.
I love
shocked
her emoji.
One time. I think that's the shocked face.
You want to talk about a movie that didn't have a villain? Would you consider, well, there was Hans, but really the villain was supposedly Elsa in Frozen.
Frozen didn't really have villains. Even in 2,
Frozen 2
Frozen 2 didn't even have a villain. I guess because Frozen 2 was about the journey to self.
Right.
I agree on that, Jamie.
Well, you wouldn't think the guy that was going to marry...
I think he was a villain.
Yeah, he was
Han.
Han was definitely the villainous character in Frozen 1.
Right. It's like, I didn't feel like he... I don't know. He just didn't give off complete villain vibes to me. He just gave off other vibes that we're just not going to say.
Yeah.
I mean, he had evil plans for Elsa. I mean, he had a plan for her. He had a plan. He had a plan for the whole village. So, to me, I think that's like the key of what makes somebody a villain, is when you have an evil plan for the main protagonist.
Yeah.
And so he came into Arendelle with a plan. And I don't think he thought his plan was actually going to go off as swimmingly as it did, because I don't think he expected Anna to be like, yes, let's get married today. But he saw he shot his shot. Like he saw his shot and he took it.
Yeah. Yeah, Sandy, there you go. He was a wolf in sheep's clothing. Classic. Let's see.
I agree with Jamie. Said the most evil villain is Cruella. I would say the animated one. That is probably the villain that scared me the most growing up. Even the way they drew her.
I love her.
She's intimidating.
The
hi, Disney Nerd Herders. Thank
hi,
you for
Charlie
stopping
Stacy.
in to say hi. But I have to agree, like the animated or the original live action Cruella. Those two, I'd say, definitely the worst villains because they wanted to kill puppies.
I think Glenn Close did a good job, but she was just comedic a lot. I think the original cartoon in my mind was the better one.
Yes.
Hey, Blonde
Um,
Amazon.
Hi, Blonde Amazon. Welcome in. Yeah, it's just the concept that she wanted to kill puppies. It's just like, no.
Which is crazy to me that people consider Cruella the worst one because she wanted to kill puppies, but the ones who wanted to kill babies,
Right? Are underrated.
I mean, Maleficent did want to kill a baby.
She did. She did.
There's another underrated villain from The Incredibles. You don't hear about Syndrome too much.
No.
He was a villain. And the Underminer, he was a villain, but he popped up at the end of the movie. So, and then they kind of just took him out at the second one. He wasn't in it very long.
Yeah. There's so many, like, you don't hear about, I mean, the main villain you hear about from the Toy Story franchise is Lotso.
Right.
You don't hear about, like, the kid that destroyed the toy and all that.
That's what Shuri said in the chat.
Oh,
and he was the first one, right? He was in the first one. Who was the villain? I can't even remember all of the villains. So yeah, you're right. Like when you think of 2 and 3,
well,
because Lotso was what, 4?
Lotso was
3.
He was 3.
Yeah, Lotso was 3. I don't think there was 1 and 2. Who was it?
No, because 4 was Gabby Gabby. Yeah, 4 was Gabby.
I liked Gabby Gabby. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm gonna be honest. I can have
creepy doll, like her little sidekick, creepy doll thing. That little thing gives me nightmares. Okay, like those whole anything that's like, what do you call those things?
But I can have like the Funko Pops. I can have these and be fine.
That one's creepy.
And stuffed animals, but no.
You mean Jessi's in her hand is creepy looking?
You're talking about
I cannot watch
the ventriloquist. That's the doll. The ventriloquist doll.
Yes.
Yeah, there were 2 of them. So that was even scarier.
That is the stuff that nightmares are made of.
Jessi, I got a question. So if you were to look into Marvel villains, because it's technically on Disney Plus now, who would you say is the most underrated villain in the Marvel series? Is my question. Plot twist.
Marvel or Avengers? Because I don't know Marvel, but I know Avengers.
Do both. You can do both.
Well, Avengers is Marvel, though.
Right.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I don't know. Like, I'm not familiar with the whole Marvel because the Marvel franchise is like so much more than just the Avengers, right? Like, I don't know any of that. like I don't know anything outside of the Avengers. and even then, it's like the MCU. Like, I don't know like the comics. So if you're talking anybody from the actual comics outside of the movie verse,
outside the movie verse, I don't know.
Yeah, in the movie verse part of it.
Like underrated, I'd have to say, honestly, if you take Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with what's his name? Star-Lord's dad. Ego.
He was underrated.
What was his name? Ego or something?
Yes, Ego. He was a celestial being, like the only reason that Star-Lord could hold the Infinity Stone.
Yeah.
And he was a planet. Like, seriously?
Yeah, that was so weird. I still can't wrap my head around Guardians too.
Right. Hi,
Hey,
Kat. Welcome in.
We've seen it once, I think. That's it.
Yeah,
I
Guardians
feel
of the
like
Galaxy is one of my favorites. I love all those characters.
I don't know if she is a villain per se, but Goose in Captain Marvel.
Goose wasn't a villain.
Okay. You don't remember
This
the
was
cat
Cat.
with the little
Oh,
Yeah.
that
things that come over?
Flirkin.
that was just
Flirt-
an
Yes.
alien
Thank you.
cat.
Hi, theme park lifestyle.
Hi, welcome in.
Hi, Daryl.
I gotta say, what? I'm trying to think how many villains other than Ursula had two different like portrayals, like how she's Vanessa and Ursula. Like, how many were there any other villains like that?
Evil Queen. She was the old lady.
Okay. The Evil Queen. I think I'm trying to think if there were any others.
I mean, but you could think of Mother Gothel, but she was just old and used
Magic flower to stay young.
hair,
Yeah.
what's her name? Oh my God, Rapunzel's hair to stay young. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny that her name is just now coming up in this whole chat, though. That's the first time anybody has mentioned her. She should definitely be on the list of underrated villains because she locked a little girl in her. She locked a baby in a tower to stay young.
Yeah, that's
Right?
true, Kat.
And pretended to be her mother. that was crazy.
What about Kat's opinion?
Thank you, Daryl. I love my hair too.
Oh, that's true.
Maleficent
Kat's
and
opinion.
Dragon.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Maleficent is the dragon.
Maleficent's only a villain in the cartoon. She's not a villain in the movies.
Yes. And like Ajanaclair was saying earlier, I like that they gave her the backstory in the Maleficent movie, which is next week, I think. Or is it Saturday? It's Saturday. See, I my brain, you guys, right now is just fried, but I've got it all written down, so that's okay.
Yeah, I definitely think the movies, though, when they give the villains backstories, it makes it hard to kind of see them as villains anymore, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, Cruella, after like the current Cruella movie, it's like, okay, but that's like I feel like that was like a whole different Cruella than like the one we grew up with. Whereas the Maleficent,
even though, if you did watch the end scenes in Cruella, she gave puppies to Anita and Roger,
which sets up for the original story.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to do that story also.
Yeah, I heard there's going to be a Cruella too.
So this technically,
yeah, well, that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah,
what they do in two.
Yes,
I just hope it's not the same story.
I'm trying to see. The only live action movie I can think of where the villain is not like the main character, like Cinderella, the portrayal of, or Aladdin, the portrayal of the villains in those makes it the same. So it's still easy to see them that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because those are just, instead of like telling the evil stepmother or Lady Tremaine's story, they just retold Cinderella's.
Right.
Or instead of telling Jafar's story, they just retold Aladdin.
Yeah.
Well, let me just tell you that Derek and I are not very big fans of the live action Aladdin as far as how they portrayed Jafar. He was not maniacal. He was not like sinister.
He wasn't creepy enough to me.
He looked like
he wasn't creepy enough to me.
He looked like a pretty boy trying to get his own way, and he couldn't have his way. And when he would talk, he was like soft spoken. When you think of Jafar, the cartoon, he was like crazy off his rocker, maniacal and psychotic and everything.
Right.
I mean, the way he laughed was scary enough. This version, whatever they gave the actor to do, was not Jafar for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like
So,
the genie and the other stuff, but it had its moments, but it's not one of my
yeah,
favorites.
like when they do the live actions, it's just like either they stick to giving the villains better, like the good backstories, like they're not really villains, or they stick to keeping them villains and just making a live action movie of the original. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
I still
Because
think
I feel like
Sorry,
it's not fair to all villains if you do one type of live action and then you do another type of live action. So
yeah. The live actions aren't always the best with their version. We haven't seen Mulan yet, but
I haven't either.
I knew about the changes in that, and I didn't really like what I heard about that.
I watched it, and honestly, to be honest with you, I was not the biggest fan of all of the changes that they made.
And that's so funny because I loved everything about that movie.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It was
I mean, it was completely different. Like it was just a whole different movie. Like it was I think the only thing that made that movie anything like Mulan is they had a character called Mulan. Like beyond that, you know, and the basic premise was about the same. But beyond that, it was like a whole different movie. It really was. It went in a totally different direction. But it was really good. But it was like, I felt like because the way that they built it up, like it would be kind of an extension of or a retelling of the original Disney story, that's what people were expecting. And so because people didn't see what they were expecting, it was hard for them to appreciate what they actually saw.
Right. And Cherie just said it was not based on the cartoon. It was based on a true story.
Okay.
Now that part I didn't hear, but it's just
I didn't know there was a true story.
Me either.
With remakes, like the live action versions for villains, I liked Cate Blanchett's portrayal of the wicked stepmother in Cinderella. I think hers was spot on. She was pretty, bad. And Derek thinks that her as an actress is scary anyway, but I think she's an amazing actress because she can change from nice to bad in a split second. So she was pretty evil as a wicked stepmother.
Yes. And one villain we haven't brought up, I want to talk about the differences. I mean, there's not very many differences between cartoon Gaston and live action Gaston.
I liked live action Gaston better. I'm going to say that right now.
Cartoon better for me. Do you like the cartoon or the live action better?
To me,
I feel like I need to watch it again to decide.
Yeah, I liked the cartoon one better. There's a lot of like they tried to make him like the cartoon, but he wasn't. He did his own.
Right.
He did it his own way.
And not only that, with the live action character, he was more active in trying to get Belle. Like helpful, like when the town folks dumped all her clothes for trying to teach the little girl to read. He was trying to be the hero instead of just I'm the hottest guy in the world, so you need to be with me. He was trying to portray what he thought she wanted in the live action.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to have to actually agree with D&G that cartoon Gaston was probably better.
I mean, everybody has their own like and everything, but I just liked the cartoon better. So
yeah. And
yes, Kat.
And LeFou,
that was not the LeFou from the cartoon. I'm sorry.
No, that was not.
That was
So
almost
I'd
like
be
Olaf trying to be LeFou because the same guy that played Olaf.
right, because every time I watch the live action Beauty and the Beast, it's like, no, I can't even see him as LeFou. All I see is Olaf as a man. So,
There's a villain that is like the essence of evil. I'm surprised none of you have mentioned.
Chernabog?
Yes. And he's
Like,
getting his own movie too.
wait, what?
He's getting his own movie. I was gonna put it as a trivia question, what villain hasn't had their own movie yet, but yeah, they're working on an actual movie for him.
Oh, that's awesome. What do you think about that, Rachel? Do you
About
know who
what?
Chernabog is?
Yeah.
No, I should, but no.
He's from
Fantasia.
Fantasia.
Oh, that's from my wallet, correct?
He's
Or is
on
that
Black-
Sorcerer Mickey?
That Sorcerer Mickey is from Fantasia.
Okay, I've
Which
seen
is
that.
hilarious to me because I watched Fantasia last year for the first time as a part of the Great Movie Ride series, and I was like, Sorcerer Mickey is in that thing for all of 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's just
Like this is
different
like the
things.
genesis of Sorcerer Mickey. Like he's like in this like little like I didn't realize Fantasia wasn't just all about Sorcerer Mickey and his
Right.
apprenticeship like from start to finish. I didn't realize it was a series of like these short orchestral pieces.
Yes.
Yeah, Walt Disney wanted to, well, part of his creativity, he wanted to introduce people to different kinds of music and using the animation as a different form to do that.
Yeah.
Music wise, I like Fantasia 2000 a lot better, as well as the animation, than I did the original one. There were a
Now,
couple ones I liked on the original Fantasia, but I found it very hard to stay awake in the original
I
Fantasia.
like the original was more grittier animation than the new one. The new
Yeah.
one was
I
too.
still haven't seen 2000.
It's
Oh.
I really
I haven't
like
seen it either.
It's a lot more cleaner looking as far as the animation. The original
Right.
Fantasia is more grittier animation. I do like the whales in the 2001 though. That was pretty cool.
I love the musical score that they chose.
I think it was
The
a mucus.
The mucus. No,
Rachel,
it's a
if
lot more
you
enjoyable.
decide to watch Fantasia,
Seen it when I was a little kid. Haven't seen it since. Yes.
yes,
Keep going.
I still watch it every now and then. It's like I will put
Like
it
you
on my
told me to
tablet.
watch.
Like I will put it on my tablet and then I will go to bed, and eventually the music puts me to sleep. So, which is probably why. Let's see. Cat loves your ears, Ajanaclair.
Thank you.
And then she says, "Where is Noelle? Still playing with all her Christmas gifts?"
No, she's in bed. She has school tomorrow.
Oh Lord.
She got her first pokey today, so she's she's in bed.
I'm really excited to see, and I know Gregory doesn't like the live actions, like some of them he doesn't like. Derek sometimes does. But I'm really just excited to see how they're going to do Snow White. There's a new Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs coming out. And the girl that's playing one of the characters is in West Side Story, and I liked her in West Side Story, so I'm excited to see how she's going to do in the new live-action Snow White.
So she plays Snow White.
Yeah.
The girl that played Maria?
Excited. Yeah, in the new West Side Story.
I'm mixed with it. Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm trying to figure out how I want to say what I want to say.
Well, because I think Mirror Mirror was a Disney movie, and that was a Snow White version. If it wasn't Disney, I thought it was, but it was a Snow White version. Huh?
It's not a Disney movie.
Oh, but I just thought, how many times can they remake, just like Cinderella, how many times can they remake Cinderella?
Or Peter Pan.
Right.
Yeah, or Peter Pan. But I know that they want to remake the classic, so Disney's going to do it their way. So
right, but I want to know because when they talk fair of skin, like they say skin is white as snow. How is the girl that played Maria, if that's who you're talking about, Rachel, gonna play Snow White?
They could use makeup. I mean,
I guess they're just not going to do like the literal interpretation. I mean, it's how Brandy played Cinderella, right?
It's supposed to
The
come out
Little
in
Mermaid.
2023.
They're doing
This
the
is
Little
true.
Mermaid. And the Little
Right.
Mermaid
I
is
mean,
the same.
with the Little Mermaid and that, though, they don't talk about the complexion. That's the only reason I'm saying something. I promise. It is.
I understand why you're saying it, or we're not thinking anything bad. It is supposed to be skin as white as snow, so maybe they're gonna change it. I don't know.
I'll show you what she looks like, Jessi.
I don't think Disney is going to put out a movie where the literal interpretation of skin as white as snow is going to be a thing in 2022,
right. Well,
like 2023. I just think Disney is going to be a little bit more politically correct than that. Because I mean, you have to think about like also the time when Snow White came out, right? Kind of like when Fantasia came out, like the timing, the historical timing of those movies. Certain things that were said in those movies were completely appropriate for that time period. I'm curious as to how they're going to do a whole movie about Snow White, because I've watched a movie and I still don't understand why it was as long as it was, and what like the
why it was even about her when it was mostly about the damn dwarves. But it's
going to be an interesting live action movie, because there wasn't a whole lot of action in that movie.
Right.
So it's really going to have to be about character development, I think. Like the whole.
And honestly, you are right. And with the whole thing about the times and being totally correct and all that. So I think that, and see, that's the mindset I'm set in, obviously, because when you see them want to make like a live action movie, you want it to be a live action version of the original.
Yeah. And I mean, as you can see what they did with Mulan, it's never going to. They're definitely getting further away from the literal interpretations of the movie, and they're being a little bit more, which I think actually adds a little character to the movie, because I think that's the reason why we had a Maleficent as opposed to an Aurora movie. First of all, Aurora was asleep for half of her movie, right?
Honestly, yes.
You really can't have a live action about Aurora because she slept like from the time she was a baby.
Right.
So I mean from the time she was 16 when she pricked her finger, so it's just, I think it's going to be interesting to see how they do the movie, but I think it's going to be more about the character development, like how in Maleficent, it was more about building the backstory of Maleficent versus doing the whole just kind of remake of Sleeping Beauty.
And kind of like what they did with Cinderella, like maybe we'll learn how Snow White's dad died. And all that. And honestly, I think that'd be awesome. So I like that part of Cinderella.
Yeah.
Disney's not going to make something that they don't believe in. Just like the Little Mermaid, everybody was in an uproar with all the changes that they did, and honestly, Disney's not going to make something that's not going to do well when it comes out.
There you go, Kat. Have a live action of the Seven Dwarves and not Snow White. But yeah, when I found out that Ariel, I think she's still going to be black, I was like, who cares? As long as it's the actress.
And she's a singer too. Or it's her sister that's a singer.
Yeah, it's like, as long as you don't make changes to certain things, I don't give a dang what color the skin is.
They were focusing on people wanted it to be like the cartoon, but it's a live action, so they're gonna do what they want with that.
Well, I don't necessarily think that a live action.
Yeah, I mean, think about what they did with Cruella. Cruella's nothing like the cartoon. like the new Cruella. Like, it was nothing like the cartoon. Like, even when the merch started coming out before the movie came out, and you were seeing the merch, and you're just like, what is this? Like, what? And the merch finally made sense once you saw the movie, but it was just like, this is just, there are certain concepts that are there, but that movie was nothing like the original cartoon.
Right.
Because I felt they did, and I mean, Lion King, they call it a live action.
I agree, as long as she's good.
It was a computer generated thing, but
that looked cool, that part.
Anyway. But I was disappointed that they didn't change the live action enough of the Lion King, calling it a live action, than what they did with the animated. I wish they would have done more different. Now, if I never saw the animated feature, which was at the time my favorite Disney animated feature, if I never saw that and I saw what they call the live action, I would have said this is a great movie. But seeing the animated one and then this, I was actually walked out like, okay, I don't care if I see it again.
Well, I always wondered what they would look like if it was real. So now I know, and I still thought it was.
I thought it was too close. Good. They did some changes, but I thought it was
little tiny.
I thought it was too close to the original.
But yeah.
And what we became used to with the live actions was there were differences. Villains, even with the normal cast, there were subtle differences. So
yeah,
I still think the best live action that they've done so far would be Beauty and the Beast, and then I think Lion King would come in second for me.
I liked Jungle Cruise. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, there's not been an animated one of that though.
But I really think they should make one. I think that'd be cool if they could make an animated.
They're actually making a second Jungle Cruise, apparently.
Yeah, they will.
And Derek and Gregory went to the premiere of it, or something at Disneyland for it.
We were there, but we didn't get to see the stars.
No, we did a vlog. It was in the summer, and we thought they were just premiering the attraction. And then when we were walking around, we realized they actually had all the actors and actresses from the movie there. So they were previewing the new ride, the changes to it. But over there by It's a Small World, they had all these like cranes. They had the red carpet. They were watching them in that theater there.
We barely missed the 2 stars of it.
We did. Yeah. So that was pretty exciting though to walk through, and you knew something was happening because we were walking by the Jungle Cruise heading toward the Tiki Room.
Everybody
and they were
was there.
Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going. You're like trying to get the camera up and try to who's coming, and so we missed them there, and then we missed them on the other side when we went over. But still an exciting moment to be a part of that.
Yeah. Let's see. Daryl didn't like any of the live action movies, which should be fun since he's doing live action Lion King with us.
Yes.
And Theme Park Vet says Lion King live action was the exact same movie pretty much.
And I think that's the hard part about it. Like, you know, it's funny because and on some movies people are complaining, well, it's not enough. Like on Mulan, it's not enough like the cartoon. And then on The Lion King, it's too much like the cartoon. And I feel like, you know, when you do a remake, if you do it too close to the original, then it just sounds like a karaoke version of the original, right? Like it's like when you do a karaoke cover, it's like people who go on like American Idol and they sing a song because they're all covering a song, but then they try to sound like the artist. It never quite comes off as well than when they try to like add something to it and add a new flavor to it to make it their own. Like you have to kind of do something different. And so I think what works is when they do something different, but then I guess some people feel like, well, maybe they went too far. Like I feel like on Mulan, I honestly feel like if they had put Mushu in the live action, people would have forgiven a lot of the other things.
Yeah.
I think not putting Mushu in the live action was detrimental to people really appreciating the movie. Like you don't realize how much people appreciate him as a sidekick until you see the live action and he's not in it.
And Eddie
all
Murphy
she had for the live action was the Phoenix.
Yeah.
That shows shows her what she needs to do or where she needs to go.
A lot of people who I knew who saw Mulan the live action really enjoyed it. They were like that was one of their favorite movies. We haven't
Like
watched it
I
yet.
feel like if you never saw Mulan, like if you didn't know what a Mulan was and you saw the live action, you would absolutely love that. It is a great movie. It has a well-written storyline. I mean, the dark female character she was just on point like the whole entire movie. And you could really appreciate that. But because she wasn't a part of the original and there were so many like the changes, but like I said, I really do believe had they managed to put Mushu in that movie somewhere, a lot of those other creative liberties they took would have been more easily forgiven than not having Mushu in that movie at all.
Right.
Okay.
Like, you expect to see like them send something after her. Like, I get that. And that's what they did with the Phoenix.
Yeah.
But everybody expected it to be Mulan. Like, so she could, not Mulan, Mushu.
Mushu.
So that
Mhm.
she could be guided completely like that. And I think certain other things would have been forgiven. I agree. And I think I know how they can change the Snow White line a little bit. Instead of skin as white as snow, like skin fair of like just fair skin, or like
I think I honestly don't think they're going to talk about her skin at all.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they're
hope
going
they
to they're going to focus on
because
some
now that I've
other
thought about
aspect of beauty to make her beautiful and to make it why she's the fairest of them all. And I think it's not going to have anything to do with the color or texture or temperature or any relation with. I think Disney is going to try to stay as far away from any references
so.
to her complexion as possible.
I hope so, but I mean, there's like just fair of skin or something like that if they do decide to say it. But,
Jessi, you are not letting that go.
but I don't like. I honestly hope they don't. Now that you made me think about it, because I people want to see people like them in movies. And there's more people, like little kids, that watch these movies now that they're mixed or they're, finally able, like their parents weren't able to watch Disney movies, but they're able to, or whatever. And they want to see people that look like them because they're coming in from everywhere else. And they want to see people that look like them.
I mean, I guess the Descendants have given me like a new perspective on how Disney is going to do these kind of live action things, because they took a lot of creative liberties with the characters and who they picked in the Descendants. I mean, in the Descendants, Cruella was a Black woman and her son was.
You look Mexican.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you what the little guy who played her son was.
Then you've got Ursula, who everybody knows is purple because they have her in the squid form. I don't know how better to say that one, because they show her hitting Uma. So how does she have a black daughter when she's obviously purple, and when she's a human, she's white?
Wait, did they show Ursula as a human?
No, but if you go by previous Disney movies, like is what I'm doing for that one, like her daughter is almost full black.
Well, I mean, and if you think about it, like other than like the story, like they wrote in Maleficent and Hades having a kid, but every single villain has an offspring. Who are they mating with? Like right? they gave Mal, two villainous parents. They put Maleficent and Hades together, which was amazing to me. Like that, it just worked, right? Like how they wrote that in, it just worked. But I mean, who's Cruella's baby daddy? Who's the Evil Queen's baby daddy? Who is Jafar's baby mama? Like,
right. And the only one that, like, out of the core four that makes sense in coloring is Jay. because
So,
he's like the
yeah,
same.
I think Disney is really trying to get away from the colorism of it all. And I don't think in a Snow White movie they're going to they're not going to mention it. They're not going to explain it. They're not going to mention it. She's going to be the fairest one in the land because of some beauty features that have nothing to do with complexion.
We wanted to. Sorry, Jessi. We wanted to let you know that we had to go because we have to get our dinner going and everything. But we wanted to thank you for having us on your show and for talking with you guys. It went by fast,
super fast.
Yes, it did.
I had a lot of fun. So thank you so much for inviting us.
Yes,
it was nice to meet you guys.
Bye.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Before we go around and share what everybody else is doing, Cherie, Hook did have his own movie, but it was not Disney.
I wish
it
it's
was
on
not
Disney
a
Plus.
Disney movie. Although everybody loves the movie Hook. I mean, so okay. Rachel, do you have anything coming up on your channel?
When does that video go up? That's the only thing as of right now.
I'm pushing it back to mid-February because I'm not going to be able to send my box out until I get my check. Okay,
so I'll probably have a video before then. But yeah, I don't know exactly what yet.
Okay. Do you have anything coming up, Ajanaclair?
So yeah, on Zoel's World, I have a few pin unboxings, and we have some trip vlogs coming up. And then over on the other channel, on Fridays, I'm doing a live watch party of RuPaul's Drag Race. So that is so much fun.
I'll be there.
Look at Rachel.
So if you're a Drag Race fan, come watch the show with that.
Are you going to stream it live, or do we have to
I am. I did it last Friday, and basically I stream us watching. I don't have the show on camera because I don't want to deal with copyright issues. But we are like commenting throughout the show. So it's not like one of those like live watches where everybody's just kind of staring at the screen watching and nobody's talking. We're literally like commenting, and we're going to start like incorporating some fun games during the show. So yeah, and my mom's on with me, so it's really fun because she's just like really into it. Like she showed up last Friday with like this wig on with like blue tips. Like she literally had like blue hair. It's like, okay, my mama looks better than me. What the heck?
Ajanaclair, is it the new season?
Yeah, season 14.
Because I'm trying to find it on Paramount because I'm on Jessi's account, but it's not on there.
I don't know if the new season is on Paramount yet. I know it's on VH1, but I don't know how they're doing it if you're not watching it live.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask.
I'm sorry, I can only imagine. It is easy, honestly, for me to imagine someone with blue tips or blue hair because I've seen everything. So, okay. I usually have a bunch of stuff coming up on my channel. The scar that I showed earlier would have been tomorrow's video before stuff happened. But I do have a giveaway going right now on my channel. And I plan on showing the item in tomorrow's video. However, circumstances change, so I'm going to show it now. It does come in this box. They are Luca pins.
Ooh,
and
cute.
I will, once this is over and post, I will be linking the original video down below. It was last week's Wishable Wednesday, because the directions for the giveaway are in that video. And I will be posting a picture tomorrow on my Instagram, which will also have the instructions to enter the giveaway and the instructions to get an extra entry will be on my Instagram tomorrow. And as for that, I'm not sure when I'm going to have a regular video again, but I will still be doing movie chats. We have one Saturday, which is Maleficent. I am going to sit down and watch that movie now that things are going a little bit better for me.
Do we have one Tuesday? Or no?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, because that'd be hectic watching 2 movies in 1 week.
Yeah. So that is everything that I have coming up, and I will try and keep the movie chats going for now, even if that is the only thing I do. But I am not going anywhere. And if you want to talk or whatever, my Instagram will be linked down below as well. So that is it for me. And yeah, I will slowly continue to schedule the other movies that we have throughout the next couple of weeks once we figure out dates and once I know when I'll be able to do them. So that is everything.
And D&G goes live, since they didn't get to say it, they're going to go live tomorrow, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe so. So you guys should check them out.
Yes, they are an amazing channel. They're so sweet. And they are fun. So that is it for everything. So I will talk to all of you guys later, and hopefully I will see you guys Saturday. Bye. Oh, come on.